What's the funniest lie your kid ever told thinking you'd believe it? Hey guys, tonight we're diving into one of life's greatest entertainment sources, the unfiltered imagination of children. Right now, imagine this. The sun has dipped below the horizon. The hum of the fridge fills the quiet kitchen. And your kid with eyes wide and cheeks smudged with chocolate is about to tell you a story so elaborate. You'll wonder if they're secretly writing for Netflix. You lean on the counter, arms crossed. They fidget, glance at the floor, then burst out with, "It wasn't me. It was Mr. Pickle. He owns a pizza company." You probably won't survive this parenting moment without cracking a smile. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Now into the tale we go. You trudge through the living room, a familiar waft of cheese and pepperoni lingering suspiciously in the air. The pizza box sits open, half devoured, crumbs scattered across the sofa like ancient relics. Your 7-year-old, let's call them Sam, is perched nearby, legs swinging, a comic book upside down in their lap. "Sam," you say slowly, "did you eat the pizza?" A moment of silence. Then, eyes darting, Sam straightens with the confidence of a well-rehearsed politician. "No," they declare. "Mr. Pickle did." Mr. Pickle, the latest addition to your household's roster of invisible inhabitants. He'd appeared only a week ago. A blurry companion described as about my size, but with a really big mustache. You hadn't thought much of it until tonight. You arch an eyebrow. "Mr. Pickle ate half a large pizza?" "Yes." Sam nods emphatically. He runs a pizza company. He was testing the product. You bite your lip. Somewhere, deep in your adult brain, the faint echo of an ancient Roman fact surfaces. Did you know that Emperor Domitian supposedly staged elaborate banquets where phantom guests were served? Historians still argue whether these stories were satirical exaggerations or genuine signs of imperial eccentricity. But even Domitian might have drawn the line at imaginary pizza entrepreneurs. Testing it? You ask. Sam leans forward conspiratorially. "Yes, he delivers pizza in invisible trucks. He said this batch had too much cheese." You fold your arms. "And where is Mr. Pickle now?" Sam's face flickers, clearly improvising. "In a meeting. A quick glance at the ceiling. With the other pizza bosses. You almost lose it. The sheer audacity. Quirky tidbit time. Did you know some cultures believed in household spirits who borrowed food? The Slavic domovoi, for instance, was a protective house spirit who sometimes ate offerings left out overnight. Perhaps Sam's subconscious had channeled this ancient mythos into modern delivery service form. You sit beside them. "Well, tell Mr. Pickle that he owes us $12. Sam considers this gravely. He said he'll pay. In invisible money. Of course. The conversation drifts, and you let it go mostly because your laughter might ruin the masterpiece of deceit. Later, tucking Sam into bed, you wonder where this imagination will lead. Screenwriter, novelist, world-class fibber? For now. Though, Mr. Pickle's empire remains the stuff of bedtime legends. You wake the next morning to a crime scene in the kitchen, an empty cookie jar lying sideways like the victim of an unsolved mystery. Crumbs trail across the counter, down to the floor, where the family dog Max, a golden retriever with more fluff than sense snoozes in blissful ignorance. Your kid Sam again is already at the table, swinging their legs, reading a cereal box with intense concentration. You sigh. "Sam, did you eat the cookies?" A pause. Sam looks up, innocence dialed up to 11. "No, they say," voice pure as spring rain. "Max did. He baked them. Then he ate them." You blink. Max baked the cookies. Sam nods solemnly. "I saw him. He put on the oven mitts." "Of course he did." Now, modern parenting wisdom says you should encourage imagination. But this might be pushing it. You glance at Max, still snoring. If he baked cookies, He's hiding a Michelin-star past life. Historians still argue whether medieval bakers actually wore elaborate protective clothing while baking. Some accounts mention simple cloths. Others suggest leather aprons to guard against open-flame ovens. You imagine Max, apron-clad, balancing a tray of chocolate chip delights. The image nearly makes you choke on your coffee. You saw him with the mitts? You press. Voice steady. Yes. He dragged the chair. Got the flour. Sam leans in. I think he might be. Magic. A quirky tidbit pops into your mind. Did you know that in 16th century France, some animals were put on trial for crimes? Pigs, goats, even roosters. They were sometimes sentenced by actual courts for property damage or even murder. If Max had been born in medieval France, this caper might land him in some serious hot water. Suppressing a grin, you point to the flour-smeared countertop. So, if Max made the cookies, how come there's a chair moved here? And why are your fingerprints in the flour? Sam freezes. Tiny wheels turn visibly behind their eyes. He asked me to help. Of course. Teamwork. You lean down. Conspiratorial now. And the chocolate on your face? A pause. Taste test. You burst out laughing. The light collapses. And Sam grins sheepishly. You ruffle her hair. Well, next time. Tell Max to clean up after himself. Later that afternoon, you find Sam in the living room. Plastic oven mitts on Max's paws. Both look equally confused. That night, as you tuck Sam into bed, you can't help but marvel at the ingenuity required for such a tale. Children's minds, unbound by logic or shame, weave worlds where dogs moonlight as pastry chefs. You remember reading that during ancient Roman Saturnalia festivals, social roles were inverted. Masters served slaves. Children played at ruling. Maybe, in their own festive way. Kids tap into this ancient instinct, flipping reality on its head to explore a different version of the world. As you close the bedroom door, you whisper, "Good night, Master Baker Max." You hear Sam giggle in the dark. A week passes. The kitchen is now free of suspicious cookie heists. But tonight, as you walk past Sam's room, you spot something curious. Homework math specifically lies untouched on the desk. A single pen rests neatly in the middle of the page. You knock gently. Sam, are you doing your homework? A casual glance from the bed. It's being done. You blink. It's being done. Sam sits up, eyes sparkling. Yeah, I have a government pen. It does the homework if you leave it on the paper overnight. Of course it does. Now, you're no stranger to your child's tall tales. But this one shows some serious upgrade in scope. You lean against the doorframe. Government pen? Sam nods solemnly. Top secret. They gave it to me because I'm very responsible. You arch an eyebrow. They? Who? A beat. The president. Naturally. If Franklin had access to Sam's government pen, the American education system would have looked very different. You walk over. Pick up the pen. It's a basic ballpoint. A freebie from the local bank. This pen. You ask. Sam nods enthusiastically. But it only works if I don't watch. It's very shy. A chuckle escapes you. Shy. Huh. Yeah. If anyone watches. It freezes. Like a possum. You sit on the bed. Sam, if the pen really works, how come your math isn't done yet? A pause. Sam frowns. It needs to warm up. First few nights, it's nervous. You nearly lose it. Quirky tidbit time during the Renaissance. Automata mechanical devices were a big fascination. Wealthy patrons collected elaborate clockwork creatures, birds that sang. Figures that wrote. Imagine presenting one of those to Sam. Look, a writing machine. But here you are, with a ballpoint possum pen. You soften your tone. Sweetheart, I love your imagination. But homework doesn't do itself. Sam looks conflicted. The dream of effortless academia slipping away. Finally, maybe. Maybe it needs batteries? You hug them. Nice try. But tonight, you and the pen are doing this together. Grudgingly. Sam sits at the desk. You stay a moment, watching them work. Pen in hand. No invisible forces. No secret technology, just a kid wrestling with fractions. As you leave the room, you think back to ancient myths, Prometheus stealing fire, Daedalus crafting wings. Humans have always yearned for shortcuts, for tools to transcend effort. Sam's government pen is the latest chapter in that timeless story. And as they scribble away, you can't help but smile. Maybe the real magic pen is the one teaching them persistence. It's a few nights later. Another bedtime. Another adventure. This time, Sam is restless. You find him sitting up in bed, arms crossed, a frown creasing their brow. What's wrong? You ask, tucking them in. A huff. No money. You tilt your head. No money for what? Sam points under their pillow. For my tooth. The tooth fairy didn't come. You freeze for a moment, parental oversight alert. In the whirlwind of your week, you completely forgot about the tiny incisor now lying like a relic beneath their pillow. You open your mouth to apologize. But Sam speaks first. She tried. They say matter-of-factly. But she got stuck in a time loop. You blink. A time loop? Yeah. Sam continues. Eyes wide. She went to medieval times. Now she's fighting tiny dragons. Of course. Historians still argue whether medieval people genuinely believed in literal dragons, or whether these creatures were symbolic stand-ins for natural disasters and human fears. Either way, Sam's fairy is apparently doing battle with them. You lean against the bedpost. That sounds complicated. Sam nods gravely. She sent me a message. A message? Yes. They reach beneath the pillow and produce a crumpled sticky note. In crayon. It reads, Sorry fighting dragons. We'll be back soon. Stay brave. You suppress a laugh. The handwriting is unmistakably Sam's. Wow. You say. Very brave of her. Sam beams. I'm helping. I sent her my night Lego. You glance toward the toy shelf. Sure enough, one small plastic knight is missing from its usual spot. Quirky tidbit, did you know that in some early European folklore, fairies weren't tiny winged beings, but more akin to mischievous spirits or nature deities? The image of a battle-hardened, time-traveling tooth fairy fits oddly well with these ancient traditions. You stroke Sam's hair. Well, sounds like she has good backup. A proud nod. Yep, but until she's back. No money. You smile. I'll see what I can do. Later that night, as you tiptoe in with a coin, you nearly trip over a makeshift Lego catapult aimed directly at the door. Clearly, Sam is taking the dragon war quite seriously. You pause, imagining a medieval battlefield, armored fairies on tiny steeds. Lego reinforcements in tow. The image is so vivid you almost want to write it down. Carefully, you adjust the pillow, leaving the coin and a new note. Defeated one dragon. More to go. Here's a little something for now. TF. The next morning, Sam bursts into the kitchen, triumphant. She came. The battle's going well. You high-five them, caught in the delightful web of their imagination. And as you sip your coffee, you reflect on a universal truth since the dawn of storytelling. Humans have crafted grand epics to explain the small mysteries of life. Sam's dragon-fighting tooth fairy is just one more tale in that long. Magical lineage. Another week passes. Your household survives pizza empires, baking dogs, government pens, and medieval fairy skirmishes. Surely, you think, things will calm down. Until bedtime. You glance at the clock, 8:45 p.m. You announce the usual okay. Time to get ready for bed. From the living room comes a groan. Sam, lying upside down on the couch, protests, but I can't. You walk in. Can't. Sam flips a prite. Serious as a NASA scientist. Aliens won't let me. You blink. Excuse me? Sam nods earnestly. Aliens. They have a bedtime protocol. I'm not allowed to sleep before 9:07 p.m. You suppress a smile. Very specific. They said if I do, they'll turn me into broccoli. Of course. You sit beside them. How do you know this? They beamed it into my brain. Sam explains. While I was brushing my teeth. Historians still argue whether Nikola Tesla genuinely believed he received signals from extraterrestrial beings as writings suggest he may have thought so. Sam, apparently, is continuing Tesla's cosmic conversations. You lean in, voice low. And why 9:07 p.m.? A shrug. The planet has a different time. They calculated it. 9:07 is safe. Quirky tidbit, did you know that some ancient cultures aligned daily activities with celestial movements? The Babylonians divided the day according to planetary hours, assigning mystical significance to certain times. Sam's bedtime, it seems, now obeys interstellar scheduling. You fold your arms. So if I tell you to go to bed now, a gasp, you'd be risking everything. Broccoli. Forever. You chuckle. And if you do stay up till 9:07, Sam grins. Then I stay human, and I get a bedtime story. Smart. You glance at the clock. 8:52. Close enough. How about this we start the story now? If the aliens intervene, I'll negotiate. Sam nods solemnly. Deal. As you begin the story, Sam snuggles close, eyes shining. The aliens, it seems, are appeased for tonight. Later, as you watch them drift to sleep, you marvel again at their brilliant, boundary-free imagination. Children's lies aren't always lies. Sometimes, the little universes, a means of mastering a world they're still learning to navigate. And perhaps, deep down, we all need the occasional story about invisible friends, brave fairies, and alien bedtime edicts to remind us that reality is only part of the adventure. Now, as the house grows still and the stars will slowly across the night sky, you take a breath and let your mind drift. You picture Mr. Pickle's invisible pizza trucks rumbling down moonlit streets. You imagine Max the dog, flour-dusted, snoozing after another secret baking session. You smile, thinking of a humble pen dreaming of math mastery, a tiny fairy locked in a dragon's duel, an alien bedtime alarms pulsing faintly from distant galaxies. In these quiet moments, it's easy to see why we cherish these small, improbable stories. They remind us of childhood's great magic, the fearless belief that the world can bend and stretch to fit the shape of our dreams. As you breathe slower, let that sense of wonder settle in. Picture yourself walking through a vast library where every book holds a child's invented tale. Some make you laugh, some make you blink in surprise, but all are crafted with boundless love and curiosity. Tonight, there's no need to rush back to grown-up concerns. No urgent lists, no looming alarms, just a warm bed, a calm breath, and the gentle awareness that imagination is always close at hand. So as you close your eyes, carry with you the lightness of these stories. And when morning comes, may you wake with a little more wonder in your heart and maybe, just maybe, a secret smile for the next delightful while your child dreams up. Sleep well.